So Panama may look cheap on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, right, babe?
No, man, it's expensive.
No, you see all these people sitting there showing you the life and showing you they big baller shot caller.
But you can't be big ball and shot calling in a cheap place.
You can't. But
it's glitz.
It's glitz?
It's
okay.
glitz, man.
But there are many things that people do not consider, and we're going to share with you some of those. The cost to relocate, the moving expenses, the getting everything from the toilet paper to the paper towel holder.
You talking about living stuff.
The living, all that different stuff. Even starting over with your first and last month's rent. Most of us are not used to that. Most people are not planning on building a new life. We just shared that. You have to have the medical expenses, your insurance, everything, sheets, towels, beds, groceries, furniture. You don't think about that. By the end of this video, you're gonna have a budget. You're gonna know about the hidden fees that most immigrants miss, how imports can cost you, and most importantly, hacks that we can give you to keep those costs down. Stay tuned. Panama does use the US dollar, but local over import, you need to consider that. City versus countryside, and what is hot to you and cool to someone else. So one thing we like to say is you are living in Panama, you're not vacationing. When many of you come to your boots on the ground, we say this all the time. Y'all can sit and tell us everything about what restaurant was happening, what nightlife is jamming, how the DJ Mario spin them ones and twos.
That's all good once you hear.
But who's your doctor? Did you take the metro? Did you go to the grocery store? How are you going to get around? Did you compare cell phone plans? You didn't do any of that. You're going to be living here.
You need
to do your comparison. Rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, your data plan, and even healthcare. Those are top priorities for boots on the ground. I can't tell you how many times we see in the WhatsApp group, how do I get my cell phone to work now that I'm here? Who looks into getting their cell phone to work now that they're here? There's not much of an answer that anyone can give you. There are major carriers in the United States that should transfer over on an international plan when you're in Panama.
You better call
But that was your prime time to ask was while you was in the United States to verify that Panama is going to be covered. Your number one expense is always going to be housing. Where you're going to lay your head, your four walls, however that is. Next, I would say is utilities, and Dublin, I would say third is then groceries and food.
Well, your number two could be a car if you unwisely choose to bring or buy one.
Yeah, but even on that, we're going to get to that as far as must-have, everybody has.
Must-have. Okay, you say must-have.
On your must-have, you don't have to have a car.
Nope, you don't.
So all of these are going to give you some examples of an estimated budget. So we've said this before, if you're single and in the city, that means one person. Now, I don't know how this got to be determined that when we gave our budget that it was on two people, that we meant individually, but we're talking one person, single and in the city. You should better stay in a mid-range one-bedroom apartment. Don't forget to include your groceries, utilities, whatever type of mobile plan you're going to have, Wi-Fi, internet, you're probably going to want that. Transportation, what's your transportation going to be? As Doug just said, does that mean vehicle? Or does that mean Uber, rideshare, Metro card? What's your transportation? Healthcare. Have you looked into whether your U.S. plan, if you're from the U.S., is going to transfer over in Panama? If it is not, what is your plan going to be in Panama? Let's not act like we're not going to get sick and not going to need a doctor. Ironically, within most of the time, the first 6 weeks of an expat immigrant getting to Panama, they get sick because your body is acclimating to a new culture, new food, new environment. You're going to need to go to the doctor. I'm telling you that now. A single person eating out 2 to 3 times a week, and then your incidentals. You're gonna look at anywhere between $1,100 to $1,800 a month, depending on how you answered those questions for a single person. Now, a two-person ability. You're looking at obviously probably a 1 to 2 bedroom in the city. Double the groceries. Well, you kind of need to eat. Double the food. Higher utilities, more showers, more internet, more water, those type of things. Are you going to have one mobile plan or 2 mobile plans? Do each one of you need a cell phone? How are you going to do that? You're probably going to have more dining out, and you're going to have some type of modest travel fun. You're going to want to do some kind of things to do for fun. We say all the time, $2,500 is a sweet spot. That's not per person. I don't know how that came about.
No.
That's together. If two people, that means together,
We
not
are
separately, okay? If you are a family, you're gonna need a larger place, 2 to 3 bedrooms. You're gonna have higher rent, y'all larger grocery bill. Obviously, Timmy and them little youngsters, they like to eat. They like to eat. Heavier utilities, that means more showers, more water, more internet bills, more internet, more cell phones. You might have more plans. Transportation, now you might need to consider a car. And I understand that for a family. It's a little harder to try to get ride shares for 4, 5, 6 people. At some point, you might want to have to consider getting a car now, which that means, as Dove just said, more expenses. You have insurance, you have tags, you have registration. Now, with that family, one thing that we find that people do not start looking at, and that's that education, schooling. Is there public school here in Panama? Yes, there is. But public school does not actually teach in English.
Nope.
And if your children are not fluently bilingual, fluent in Spanish, you're going to be looking at private school. And private school is not free in Panama. So you're going to probably also be looking at activities. What are they wanting to do for fun? What type of things, what kind of activities are they into? They probably want to go do the movies every once in a while and go-kart racing and those type of things. You came here to have a better life.
Yeah.
And now you need healthcare. So what are you doing for healthcare for the family? Hidden costs, new arrivals face, okay? These are things that most people are going to find. Building fees, deposits, they're not prepared for those. You are also going to have to pay your first month's rent and more than likely a deposit. You might also find that appliances and furnishings that you're needing to purchase. Understanding unfurnished most of the time does not sometimes mean that you're going to have a refrigerator, washer and dryer, stove. You could, but those things could also not be included. I can't also tell you how many people don't share with you that they don't have hot water or they don't have AC because they didn't invest in those. Those are things that sometimes are up to the individual that is moving into a standalone unit or a condo. Be prepared for those additional fees. Medical expenses. Mike Kelly has shared this over and over again. Medicare is for emergencies.
Yes.
It is not your insurance plan. Even in the US, if you have Medicare, if you're not having a die-hard emergency, it's not covered here in Panama. You're going to need some form of insurance. And then you're gonna need to consider your Uber and your transportation costs. Those are the things that most people not actually take into consideration before they come. And then you have the import reality. My baby, no. If you're stuck on Heinz ketchup or Chick-fil-A sauce, or you must have just American brand products. There's going to be a higher fee associated with those. It's not going to be the exact same cost that it was in the US. So don't be shocked when you're looking at $9 Heinz ketchup. It does exist. That may be a shock to some people. Addicted to Amazon? Well, don't be shocked if you see an additional tariff if it is not over a certain dollar amount. I believe, and I've honestly kind of forgot, I think if it's not over $35, there's an additional fee. And then if it goes over $100, the fee is actually eliminated. This also includes all those Amazon Prime shoppers out there. Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, you don't get free international shipping. Baby, everybody would be doing that. There is no free international shipping. You still have to pay. If you love US brands, they're going to be higher. Find local, save a lot of money.
All right.
That's the key. Shop local, get it a lot cheaper. Where does Panama save you money though? There are some benefits.
Yeah.
Local produce, much more affordable here. Tastes different, but it's much more affordable here.
You ain't got all them chemicals in
There
it,
you
man.
go. Naturally sweet. It's so funny. You're going to have to get used to the fact that food tastes different. Doesn't mean it's bad. I said different.
Delicious.
We have a lot of chemicals in our US food. So just keep that in mind. Basic health care, very much affordable here. Office visits for doctors, your all-in included healthcare visit to a doctor is what most of us are used to paying in a copay. For most of us. Public transportation and metro, very much affordable. Easily can be attained, very much attainable. Routine services such as your hair care, tailoring, house cleaning services, much more affordable here. That definitely saves you money. Upscale living for most people who are used to some of these places. When you look out here, they're used to these places here being $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month, depending on where you live in the US.
New York.
Most of them are under $2,000 a month to live. AC in some areas. Now, Panama does have certain neighborhoods have higher kilowatt per usage. You need to be used to that. It's not a regimented area like in the US where you're used to said company. That's just what it charges all across the board per kilowatt. Certain neighborhoods in Panama have higher actual kilowatt. Private education, well, although I know I'm like, I don't want anybody saying, well, you just said it's very expensive. Private education in Panama is very expensive. However, for most people who are used to paying private education in the United States, for some of the actual type of level of higher education that you get, many people with children say it is actually much more affordable here. It is just that for some people, they have a predetermined mindset that I'm moving to Panama, surely education should be this amount. That's not true. It is more affordable, but it is still expensive based on some people's needs. Imported groceries, well, some can be actually a little bit affordable. And then your frequent nightlife. Well, we like to kick it. So depending on how often that you like to kick it, I will say that there are better happy hours. Most of the venues do not charge you to enter. There is no door fee. It's really not the norm of Panama. And then because of the fact that we're in Panama, where the local economy and the local person makes a little bit less wages, remember they're wanting the local Panamanians to come out and have a good time in entertainment as well. So the cost for the event is much more affordable based upon what we're used to in the US. So you actually can have a very good nightlife and enjoyable evening, as well as the fact there are so many events are just flat free.
Yeah.
Just flat free. I mean, a lot of things. If you just like free, they're in the arts and those type of creative area, but it's free. You can just go enjoy. So here we go. How are you enjoying this? Have you subscribed to us? Can you share your biggest budget surprises? What have you found out the most, whether that's utilities, moving, education, that you can help others, that you feel is going to help them save some money? Everybody wants to save a little money. Now, if you're still looking and you're looking to move to Panama, definitely watch episode 3. That's where we did finding a place that you'll love, but don't go watch it like I said last week until after this one. Don't stop. Don't stop. We're going to keep it going. Now we're going to talk about the cost saving playbook. Everybody wants to actually save some money, right? Here are some tips. Number 1, AC. When we first moved here, we have 4 units in our actual condo. We do have 4 units. It is rare. I don't think we've ever had all 4 ACs on. Have we ever?
Yeah, we had at the beginning.
At the beginning? Like, well, and definitely when we have visitors here. So when our grandkids came, they have AC on in their rooms. So no, we have. But when it's just he and I here, we most of the time have 1, no more than 2 on. So those are going to be ways that you can actually save some money. In some rooms, you can actually have it on a higher level. Don't forget to get it cleaned, get your filters, get your annual checks. Those are things that you're going to need that's going to help you on your cost savings as well. Fans, you're going to hear people negate and agree with this. And some people say if you have your ceiling fan on, it can throw off the actual rotation of the air. And then you're going to have some people say that it helps circulate the air. It really depends on you and depends on your comfort, but use those. Transportation, we're going to say, obviously we always say walk first. Hey baby, that's free. But be careful where you walk here in Panama. Where I said a few minutes ago that most of the people when they first get here, they end up in a hospital.
Hey.
It's those people, because they too busy looking down, looking at their phone, talking. Panama is not one of those places you can walk and don't be looking down. You constantly have your head on the swivel in Panama, and it's not for bad people. It's for the things that's on the ground. So you're gonna want to do that.
Or lack of the ground being.
Or I can't tell you, this boot he has on is funny. You see a lot of this a lot of the times because people, they hurt themselves here in Panama. Next is gonna be the next more affordable is metro, subway, bus, Uber, and then the last one, obviously, car. Get a car if your life demands it. Hey, to each their own. There's a lot of things to consider to get a car. Parking, insurance, gas, maintenance. For those of y'all that's coming with your American car,
it's the same cost you have in the States as far as
you're gonna have it.
Vehicle.
So then you're gonna think of plans and bundles. So that's your US phone. We said this. How important is it for you to maintain your US phone? Do you need to keep it? We're not gonna sit there and say you need to terminate your US phone. We personally still have our US phone lines. We need them not only for 2-person authentication, also just the fact that our plan for us is still affordable for us to keep our US phone on. If it became to that point that this was a high unexpected bill all the time, then I guess it's something that we would have to consider. But we don't talk on our US phone. We use it for data and other things that we use it for. And then I still have a business in the US, to which y'all know. Is it important that you here in Panama have one phone or two? If your family is 4 people, is everybody going to have a phone? They do have bundles and plans, so you want to make sure that if you have your internet, maybe go with a phone service that also has internet so you can save a little bit more as well. Pensionado discounts, baby, those are the best. We're going to sit there and tell you, pensionado discounts, if you're under the pensionado visa, is not routed to an age. We're going to keep repeating this. It is not routed to an age. If you were able to qualify for the pensionado visa in Panama, if you were able to qualify for it,
that's all you need.
That's all you need. 18 to dead. If you're anywhere in between there, you get the discount. It's really that simple. If you qualify for another visa, your age is routed to pensionado. It's at that point you are under the same stipulations and age requirements as a local Panamanian citizen.
Correct.
Whatever that age happens to be, which for right now is 55 for women, 62 for men. It's because you're not under the pensionado visa. As long as you're under the pensionado visa, if you are over the age of 18 and until you're dead, you get a discount. It's that simple. That's utilities, food. You also can get some local restaurants, just different places. Note, every business is not required to give you the discount. We did a whole video one time on the pensionado jubilado discount. A lot of your individually owned restaurants, mom and pop restaurants, even some businesses do not have to give it to you.
And I'm going to critique when people are in country and they pull their jubilado out and they ask for the discount and the business says no. They get all huffy and puffy, but that person who's getting all huffy and puffy never even read the law about the jubilado.
You need to read it.
So they only argue what they think they know and they look foolish.
Yeah, every hotel, every business, everything does not have to. And a lot of times it's an underlining caveat that if something is already reduced or marked down, they don't have to do it like anything else. So if a hotel room is having a special and is already marked down to $85 and is normally $115, they're not going to give you the jubilado discount on top of the $85. It's already marked down.
And if I'm not wrong,
yeah,
correct me, read the law. The jubilado is for regular prices. So if something's already on sale, if they give it to you, great, but they don't have to.
They don't have to. It's not on reduced items. So please know that. Eating, we said this earlier, eat like the locals, baby. You want to save some money, fundas are the place to go. Now, be cognizant of where you're going to choose which ones you want to go to, but hey, if it's good enough for the locals, it's good enough for us, and if you can eat at a fonda, you're going to save big money. Comfortable living, these are the words when we say comfortable. So I'm going to give you 3 words: lean, solid, and premium. Think almost just like a steak. Okay. So lean, we done cut all the fat off, okay? There is no extra.
That's a good part.
Well, I'm just telling you. Well, that would be premium. The good part, we can't afford premium. We live in lean, okay? If you live in lean, that means your rent is in a modest area. You're gonna cook at home a lot. You're gonna have your AC on, but with limits. It's probably gonna be on when you go to bed and at a higher rate. And entertainment for special events. You're gonna pick and choose when you entertain and when you don't, okay? You're not entertaining every day. You're living lean. Lean is fine. Lean is still breath in your body. You're good. Solid. You have a better building. You have a terrace. You have a view, okay? You might be on a high floor, concierge. You might have domesticated assistants. You might have a chef that comes in and cook you some food.
Man, that sounds like High on the Hall.
You can go to the grocery store and you're not looking at every single individual price as they ringing stuff up going, stop, give me a subtotal. Stop, give me another subtotal.
They still do that?
You're okay, all right? You're living good. You eating out a little bit more. Your healthcare.
I bet you can't say that in Spanish.
Your healthcare is covered. What is he doing? Your healthcare is covered, whether that's in-state or out-of-state. You have a little bit, even additional policies here in country. You do ride share. You might even have you an actual driver. That's solid, okay? Premium. You have a nice brand new tower, okay? You have a larger square footage condo. You're in a prime area. You frequently dine out. You don't even know what groceries are because you don't even go to the grocery store. That's what your help does. You have hired services. You buy imported without guilt. You have private school. You might even have in-service nannies, assistants, those type of things. That's premium. So that's what you're also going to find when you're living the lifestyle. Are you living lean? Are you living solid? Or are you living premium? So reality checks. With rent, your biggest expense, negotiate where you can. We've shared this before, whether that's doing higher on deposit to have lower rent, a longer lease, do that. Food, shop local, get produce. Import is going to be luxury. Don't go heavy on that. Utilities, well, that can vary. We just said, not only are you going to fall in love with some areas, also find out where those areas are on kilowatt. We're going to share with you because we know San Francisco area has the most economical per kilowatt electric bill. And it's one of the larger areas that there is. Healthcare, you need to consider, is my plan going to carry over in Panama? Don't assume, call somebody.
Yeah, call your provider.
Call your provider. Don't assume. This may be an area for you to save hugely economically. You might not need to invest in a Panamanian policy because you're going to have just as much or greater health care from your policy that's going to carry over. Entertainment, hey, if you don't have a lot of extra money, entertainment might be one of the first ones to go. That's just how it is in any place. You might not be able to go someplace every day that ends in Y. Okay. You're going to have to pick and choose when you can go and what are the actual events and things that you're going to actually do. Don't pop bottles when you can only afford to get water. That's just how it goes. That's just life, okay? So on the next episode, episode 5, we are going to talk about healthcare and insurance without panic, whether that's public versus private, how do the clinics work here, your emergency plan, realistic insurance, and things that you need to find to get yourself covered. We say you can't move to another country and you ain't took care of yourself first, and you are first. Put your mask on first. Healthcare is important. So like this, if you have found value, comment with your actual Panama expenses, your family size, and the area you live in, because that has value. Don't just say, I pay this, but I live 4 hours away. That don't count. No. And the type of accommodations that you're in. And of course, make sure that you like, share, comment,
subscribe.
With that, we're out. Peace.
Bye, Gate.